everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Black Girl Heard podcast. If you don't follow us already on socials, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WeAreBGH. That is WeAreBGH on Twitter and Instagram. I am beside myself with excitement of who we have on the show today. This person is not only a journalist, she's a director, a producer, but also she's a blogger who celebrates beauty for all skin tones and focuses on women with darker skin and textured hair. She's written and styled for such titles as Vogue, Tatler, Sunday Times Style, The Telegraph, and the list goes on. We have with us today the magnificent Ateh Jewel.
Hi, how are you? I'm so excited to be here on your podcast. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. I just love your energy all the time. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks so much for coming and spending time with us. I know
fantastic.
That you're saying that you've had like a long day, and that's just what you get from being such a boss, for owning owning your own spaces, writing, doing your own thing, being a producer. Listen.
And a mama, most importantly.
And a mama!
I've got twin girls, and they're 8, and everything I do, I want to be a really good example to them, you know? So I take it, it's a huge responsibility. So if you want your children to be anything, you have to be it first, you know?
That's so true, because they're always looking, aren't they? They're always looking and like
looking
watching.
And learning. Yeah.
Exactly. And I met them, and one of them was so energetic and the other one was really cool and quiet. And I was like, why are you even here? I love it.
They are like two peas in a pod, but they're completely different chalk and cheese. They've got different energies, which I really like. And, you know, one is...
so amazing.
One's an artist, one's a CEO, businesswoman handling her business. It's all good.
I love it. I love it. Before we get into the show, I have a few questions for you, just so that everyone knows what you enjoy. Like, they get a little bit of your personality, basically. So I have a few this or that questions. So,
okay,
pizza or pasta?
Pizza, I have to say.
Okay.
And gluten free. So, because I got a slight gluten sensitivity. So if you can hook me up with a very good gluten-free pizza, I'm happy.
You're on board.
Yes.
Would you rather have super strength or telekinesis?
Ooh.
People are always stumped with that question.
Well, I could go work out. So telekinesis. I could go pump some iron and get some fire going in my muscles. So telekinesis.
Telekinesis.
Yes.
Would you rather have a new outfit or a new hairdo?
I'd rather own the factory that makes it.
I knew you were going to do something super cool. Like, that's so yesterday. I'm going to go higher.
Yes. I'm going to own the factory and pump out a new outfit every day that I want. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Beach holiday or a city break?
I am a city break person because I need to be stimulated a lot. So sitting on the beach reading a book gets real old for me after 2 days.
It's not your
not that I don't appreciate nature, and the sea is a very beautiful, calming thing. But if I can go to an art gallery, then a restaurant, and then go shopping and go this and that, and then maybe take a train to the beach and then come back to the city, I'd prefer that.
Yeah, so you can't do a whole day of beach activity. That's too much for you.
No.
Oh, fair enough. I feel like I can do like one great day at the beach and every other day has to be activity, but I need to be at the beach. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm the same.
Would you rather lip gloss or lipstick? I find that this is a very interesting one, personality-wise.
It is very difficult. I am a lip gloss person.
Same,
I guess,
twin.
Yeah. I am that kind of 90s. 90s,
right?
noughties was my time. And that was all about juicy tubes. That was all about the lip gloss. Saying that, if you took a lipstick and then add a little bit of lip balm, you've got a glossy effect. So a lipstick, if I was on a desert island, I would prefer, because then I'd also make it into a blush, an eye cream, and a lip gloss. But like, just living my life.
Listen, I'm giving you all the props.
Yeah.
You really went deep with that.
Sorry. This is serious to me. This is my thing.
This is my life. So iced tea or iced coffee?
Interesting. I am definitely more a tea drinker. So I would have the iced tea, but without loads of sugar.
Okay.
Without loads of sugar.
Oh my gosh, I can't drink iced tea without the sugar. The thing that makes the iced tea is all sugar.
I think sometimes it could be like I have to watch my sugar because I gave myself type 2 diabetes from being a sugar addict.
You gave yourself?
Yes, I did. So I'd have to go low sugar or a little bit of coconut sugar. But yeah, iced tea.
Have we tried like different alternatives? There's like agave, stevia, and all those things.
Yeah, I think, yes, I have. I think, it's about spiking your sugar levels. And even with stevia, I think, I don't know, it's your body still needs it as sugar and it just messes with it even, I think, in my opinion. So either do the real thing, but little and moderate.
Little, yeah. Moderation is everything.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Heavy glam or natural glam?
Natural.
Have you seen Beyonce did a natural glam to end everyone's natural glam recently, and I was like, only Beyonce can make natural glam look like heavy glam. It was so
yes, exactly. It's an attitude. It's an attitude. Yeah, but I am team natural most of the time.
Natural,
yes,
for sure. A concert or a comedy show?
You know what? I really can't stand watching comedy. I love comedy. I'm a comedy person, but I find it so cringy.
Yeah.
Like if I was to go, because I'm a huge empath, and if they bomb, I just want to go hug them, and I get upset. I get upset for them. So I feel like a mum looking at her kid like bombing and I get upset. So it's too upsetting for me to be in a live room for someone. It's like, or if someone heckles them, I'll just try to jump in and get into it.
I'm like, hey, you know how hard it is.
So I can't physically go to a comedy without getting upset on some level. So it would be concert. Yes.
Concert. Okay, cool. An all expenses paid trip or a full home makeover, like all the works, all the rooms done, or like an all expenses paid trip?
Oh my God, I would definitely say, invest in your home.
Right.
Do the home and then, get a trip another way. It's all good. Get both. But I'd invest in my home.
Same, yeah, for sure. What is your go-to takeout cuisine? Like if you're gonna order something, what is it?
I do love Chinese. I love Chinese.
Chinese is always a winner.
I love Chinese. I love Chinese food. I like really good Japanese food, but Chinese food is just
Japanese
like
food
really,
and Thai.
Yeah. So these flavors are beautiful. That's what I would go for.
Last question. Who do you think were the 3 most influential people in your career?
Oh my God.
Oh,
that's really interesting. Well, I have to do a big thanks for all the women who hired me in the beginning of my career. So that was Carmel Allen. She was the very first person to hire me and get me on board in Star magazine. And then Kathleen Bird Murray, another wonderful woman who hired me and brought me into the world of Tatler magazine. Those are the 2 magazines I started out before I went freelance. Irene Shelley from Black Hair and Beauty. I really admired her as a Black beauty journalist.
That was a fantastic publication.
Yeah, and then exactly, which I grew up loving and respecting.
That was my go-to.
Yeah,
I used to just dream of like the hairstyles and stuff. It was really
just too fabulous. And then I guess the last person would be, I always had a vision of myself in the future because I didn't have role models. There's no one who did what I was doing at the time. Yeah. So I would always imagine myself 10 years in the future, and that still is a role model. Ateh at 51, Ateh at 61. Who am I going to be? Yeah, so I always had myself 10 years in the future, and I would not stop until I made that vision, that picture happen. So I have always had that in my head, me in the future, because I think you should always be ambitious and competitive, but only with yourself. I
think that's so important because, there's so many other things that could come out of life, and there's so many other things that could, stay you in the wrong direction. But like you said, having yourself, like your future self, and being able to be like, okay, is this where I'm going? How does this affect me?
Do better, learn from your mistakes, and just don't give up.
Yeah.
So all the women who have, also Beth and Cole. She was amazing. She's an amazing journalist who, when I first went freelance, she hired me a lot at Sunday Times Style. And she gave me a lot of confidence that I can do this and that my ideas and that my beauty point of view was valid. And so I'm really grateful to all the women who have believed in me,
Yeah, I think that just having those people that say, do you know what, you're valuable and we appreciate you and your work is good. And even if it's not good, even criticizing you and telling you in a, like constructively, like this works, but this doesn't work. And you can do this, but if you tweak this, it would be better. But just having them to be like, just keep going.
Well, I tell you what, Hannah Poole, also from The Guardian, I used to write for her. And I remember I was devastated. I was like 23 or something. And she said, Ateh, you can do better than this. You can do better than this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And she was so right.
Stings, but at the same time, it pulls you up and it's like, right, so let me just get into this a little bit more.
But from love. Do you know what I mean? And I remember she is also someone who really championed me in the beginning of my career. And she's gone on to do amazing things and writing books and curating stuff. And just, all the people I really respect have got more than one hustle. They've got a few side hustles and I really admire and respect that.
But then how do you juggle that? Like, it must be like so, not stressful, but it must be tasking as well though. Like,
stressful yes, it is stressful and tasking, you are correct. But I think you just everything you do has to also give you pleasure. You never do anything just in a sadomasochist way. So the pleasure outstrips the pain,
Yes,
so,
of course.
And so everything, I'm very lucky. We're all very lucky. I get to do stuff which I enjoy, I respect. It's my hobby. I'd be doing all these things anyway if I wasn't getting paid. And I think that's a very blessed position to be in, It's like, my God, you're so lucky to be able to work in something you enjoy. So I don't take that for granted.
Not a lot of people have. And I remember that you were speaking at the Black Girl Fest, and just the way you're talking about your passion, it was palpable. Like, we were all at the edge of our seats.
Thank you.
And no, I really do have to stand, because the way you were speaking about it, and I think you spoke about your mom and how she told you to do something you loved and make your hobby your job. And I love that. So talk to us a little bit about that. How did that? Because I know that makeup right now is like a massive part of culture today, because social media is a thing and everyone has to look so cute. But then in the beginning, for like people a little earlier on, it wasn't as massive. But then you kind of got in front of that. And
well, I guess beauty. I mean, my background, I studied history at university.
Yeah.
So I'm a historian. And what I always found really interesting about beauty and makeup and how you adorn yourself is that there has been no point in history, of the history of civilization, where people have not expressed themselves through beauty and ritual. And I find that very interesting. And so, yes, it's about being cute. Yes, it's about expressing yourself. Yes, makeup and beauty can be political, about power, about economics, about all these different things, about expressing yourself, being playful. And that's what I find really interesting. Not wearing makeup is a statement. Wearing makeup is a statement. How you wear your makeup is a statement. How you wear your hair is a statement. It's all, I find that very interesting for so many. And also the kind of ritualism of it, when you're preparing products for your skincare, these are all little rituals that you do. You do your face cream, you do your this, you put your lipstick on. It's rituals of preparing yourself.
Night creams and all this things.
Yeah, I find that so interesting and exciting. And for me, beauty is not about vanity, but about who you are from the inside out, how you feel about yourself, your culture, all these things. I find it fascinating,
I love that you said that beauty isn't about vanity, because there's a lot of portrayal that beauty is very, like, beauty and makeup and all these things are very superficial, and it's a lot to do with insecurity. That's what people make it out to be. But I think sometimes it's just complimenting yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. It's Sunday self-care on my husband, and I was giving him a facial because I was like massaging some oils into his skin. I did the whole full works. I gave him a facial, and
I love it.
And I was like, I was doing like face masks, and I was doing all this like cool stuff, and
all the TLC care,
and then I put an oil, and then he was like half asleep, and then I kind of shook him awake, and I said, how do you feel? He goes, God, that feels really great. My skin feels really refreshed. That's really good energy. Thank you so much. And I said, at what point did you think about wanting to snog me or being sexual or attracting a mate? In an hour of me giving a facial, how much of that was about you or about you trying to be cute for someone? And he's like, 0.
Right. This is
0. Yeah, it was nothing. It's about taking care of yourself, about healing, about looking inwards, being calm. It's a form of meditation. It's a form of like harnessing all the beautiful ingredients of nature to heal yourself.
Self-care, yeah.
Is he going to go on Tinder? No. Was he thinking about anything like that? No.
That's so true. I love that because sometimes there's a portrayal and then there's the misconception that everything has to be one thing. There can only be one narrative at a time. And I think when like that,
and also it's quite misogynistic. The fact that a woman wanting to feel powerful it's reduced to wanting to have sex or to attract a mate. That's really misogynistic in my point of view. Not saying that isn't, you want to look cute on a Saturday night and that is also part of female sexuality and power, but it's not the whole story.
It's true.
Not for me at 41 with 2 kids and a marriage of 22 years. My lip gloss is not for you. It's for me.
It's for me. How I feel, no, honestly, because I was talking to her and she's had a few kids and she was talking about how it makes her feel confident to be able to go out and to look a certain way. And it's for her. It's just her perspective on things. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But But then I was just thinking about makeup though, in general. And how, for me, I'm 27 and I didn't wear makeup until I was 24, 25. And
can I ask you why? Why?
It was largely because, first of all, I could never find the right shade.
Boom. So it wasn't because you didn't want to, it's because
I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Then I couldn't find the right shade and and whenever I'd go to the counters, they'd give me a rubbish shade or I'd have to mix it. Or it just, and there was just so much stress. And I just thought, my skin is okay. Let me just live my life. Let me just opt out, basically. It wasn't
that's so sad.
It is sad.
Because what that is saying is that you don't get to play in this arena because there's something wrong with you.
Definitely.
And the fact is, no, there's something wrong with you that you haven't got something for me. And that's the way that information is flowing, which is why I'm creating my own foundation called Ateh Jewel Beauty. Yeah, and I'm developing because
Ateh Jewel Beauty, guys.
Yeah, I'm developing my own foundation for darker skin tones because all the things you're talking about, I went through as well.
Yeah, I honestly felt like my skin shade, because I knew other people who found theirs, but I just found like my skin, there were too many things going on. So I thought, let me not make it complicated for myself. All that mixing and all those things just felt so tiring and tedious. And even
why are you a second-class beauty citizen? That's how it made me feel.
Exactly, for sure. And it was because like my mom, we grew up with my mom having like her beauty products, and she was very simple as well in her glam, very natural glam. But then all my sisters, we were kind of like, we can't find anything for us, so let's just opt out. But my little sister, she has like a fairer skin tone, so she found hers very easily. And
what does that tell you?
Exactly.
What does that say to you? Can you see how makeup can be political?
It's so political for sure. It was so political.
I don't think that's right. So, it's like, let's blast open the whole conversation on colorism. So if you're fairer, you get to be part of this world, which is glamorous and powerful. And because you're darker, you're excluded. And I think that's fundamentally wrong. That's because the people making the decisions, making the products, don't care about the darker skin tones, don't want to go there. I spent 2 years developing my brand because I've had to go to so many people telling me, this is how it is, this is how it is. And I'm like, no.
That makes
and
no sense.
It makes no sense. And I said, why can't I get the shade I want? And one person said, well, no one's ever asked. No one's asked us. No one's demanded it of us because there hasn't been, Rihanna with Fenty Beauty has blasted the case open.
Wide open, yeah.
Exactly. But I think when you have more people who have darker skin tones, who are asking and demanding of stuff and who are actually making the decisions, then things change. So the more demand, the more you don't accept things, that's how things will change. Because you are important. I am important. My skin tone is perfect. I am perfect. You are perfect.
I am definitely.
You are perfect. And when you get products that don't step up to you, you feel less than. When it's the other way around, they're the ones who are less than. And I'm going to try and fix that.
No, honestly, I think it's what you're doing is so important because I was doing some research and apparently Asian and Black women spend on average just under £200 more a year on beauty products because of lack of choice. And I think that's crazy. So annoying. Yeah. Why should
you're being penalized. You're being penalized for your skin tone. That's not cool.
Because you have all these 19 shades for different white tones or fairer tones, and then you have 3 black shades before.
Exactly, it's ridiculous. You can do 19 shades of just darker skin because there's the same undertones, same things going on. So I completely get it. And if you want to fix something, you've got to be the solution. So I'm trying to be the solution.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a frustration which I'm trying to fix in my small way, but you have to, it's a problem. But the problem is, I don't think men and women with darker skin tones have been respected as consumers in the same way. You know what? Just take this, be grateful. Yes, it's a bit ashy, a bit rubbish, but you know what? You should be lucky we're making it for you at all. That's always been the tone I've felt.
That is definitely the tone.
Have you felt that as well?
No, honestly, I think I went to a counter and this is when I was trying it out again. In my, this was just before the Fenty came out. And I went in and I was like, okay, let me just give this a try. I went with my friend and I was looking at this lady that's not my shade. And she's like, oh, and she was, to be fair, bless her, I felt like she was trying to help, but obviously it's not her fault. But she's like, oh, that's all we have. And I was like, I understand that, but I just felt feeling frustrated and feeling what's the point? What is the point?
But that's not your problem, that's their problem. And that
is their problem.
And with social media, in a way that you can vocalize and make yourself heard in a way that you never could before, people are kicking off and saying this is not acceptable. Which I love really that.
Yeah. But then even in your articles, I feel like you kind of inject those, you kind of talk about race in no uncertain terms, and I really like that because you have these platforms to talk about beauty, but you make it, use it as a segue to talk about those undertones of colonialism and racial issues, and I think you talked about in one of your articles about the good hair syndrome and how we still internalize it, not even kind of, we still internalize it, because the other day I found myself saying, oh, you have really nice hair, and I thought, what's bad hair?
Exactly. I mean, it's such the good hair question is such a hangover from colonialism. So, having that kind of 3A, 3C, 3B loose curls is the good hair, the good curls to have, rather than my 4C coils. And, what you're really saying is the more mixed or closer you are to a European hair, it's better than to an African, thicker, curlier, more textured hair. So it's really sad, but that's what that really is all about. Yeah. It's saying the more kind of African you are, the more textured your hair is, that is not as good as someone who is closer to a European standard. I think that is the subtext of all of that. I've got twin girls. My girls are mixed. I have one daughter with 3B curls. The other has more textured hair. She has like a 3A, 4A, 4B hair. And, they've been stopped on the street. Oh, your hair's so pretty. And, my daughter who's fairer with looser curls is fawned over.
Oh,
My other twin, who's darker with a tighter texture, doesn't get the same attention. They're both beautiful girls. They're both amazing people. And it's because people are programmed to be more receptive to the
European style.
Yeah, because they're history's winners. Who wants to be associated with being a loser, being a slave? I think that's what it is, if we're going to get real into it.
If we want to be super real.
If you want to get super real.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that it really is what it is. And I think it is all of our responsibility to throw a light, to shine a light on that and be like, no, I can have 4C hair, I can have tight coils, I'm a powerful person, I have value, I am capable, I can be in a boardroom with my hair, and that's how it is. So the more people see that, the better.
It's true. And I find that I was reading a few articles about different things and people saying that they feel a little bit self-conscious when they walk into work with their hair out, like in their natural hair, and they feel like it's so heavy, the labels that you carry when you have your hair in a certain way.
Yes.
And just like the comments that people make, like, oh, Afro-lista, or something, just like weird things like that.
Oh, it's messy, or it's this, or unprofessional.
Unprofessional is the major one that people get.
It's a big one. And it's because it's the hangover of slavery. It's a hangover of people perceiving that textured, curly, coily hair is not the hair of power. And everyone wants to be where the power is, yes or no? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
So, as soon as we can change that conversation, it won't be a problem, but it's going to take a lot of time. It's historically speaking, it's only like your great grandma was this, slavery was like, your great grandma, nothing. It's like historically only a couple 100 years in America in the 1860s. It's nothing. So it's going to take time to rewrite that. Yeah. I always compare it to like women and the vote. Women couldn't vote in this country only 100 years ago. Is that insane?
It is insane.
Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy, yeah.
It's crazy. And in the same way, that is crazy. But in 100 years' time, I'm praying it will be crazy that we had these feelings about our hair and other people had the feelings. But 100 years ago, women couldn't vote. The thought of a female prime minister was insane.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the conversation.
I mean, it was ridiculous. So in the same way, I hope in 100 years, this whole conversation is insane and ridiculous, but it takes time.
Do you find that, I don't know, I just think that I don't want my children to grow up in a place where they internalize all these things because, like you say, they're always watching and they're always learning. And
yeah.
I don't want them to feel less valued, And obviously it's impossible for them to not be shaped by the world around them.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of them not feeling beautiful because they have this hair, they have the skin, and it's a lot to carry. I don't want
it is a lot to carry. But I guess, and I do know what you mean because I have 8-year-old girls and they have said these things and they have heard the messages about what the world thinks of them and their skin tone and their hair. But I guess as a mother, as a parent, it's your job to give them Teflon and to give them armor and to say there will always be noise in the world. It could be like, oh, you're too clever. You're too this, you're too that. There will always be noise. And I think it's your job as a parent to give them armor to filter out the bad from the good. But also, I'm not being funny, you need to be making some soldiers who are going to go into the world and change the world.
Change it, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Like, that's the only way that we can ever affect change.
Yeah. So I know what you mean. I want to protect you.
Focus.
Yeah. So I want to protect you, but at the same time, I want to make you a soldier of change.
Of course.
To go out with your words and your influence and your art and to go and make the world a better place. But you only can do that when you recognize what the problem is. So it is a balancing act. But I think all self-love, self-esteem comes from your family, from yourself, from taking a pride in yourself and your believing in yourself. And, even if you don't have a good family to do that, you can do that for yourself. It's harder, but
it's hard. No,
it's possible.
definitely.
Yeah. Self-validate.
I feel like what in terms of what you're talking about, in terms of I read one of your articles about in Love Island, them not favoring dark-skinned women, and I thought about it, and I was just thinking about the fact that you seem very self-assured and confident after like so many years of experience. And have you faced loads of opposition since you started?
Oh my God, loads. I was like, oh my God, where do you start?
Because you seem so like I'm going to do this regardless of what anybody else thinks. But then I was reading some articles and just seeing how there's so many women, Black women, first of all, online, they receive so much more hatred, so much more negativity on Twitter, on social media in general. They face more online hate for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you have to use it as rocket fuel. The harder the haters are, the more rocket fuel you're giving me. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've been told in my career, do I feel more white because I'm really educated? That was in a job interview for a magazine.
Oh, what?
Yes, I was told, what did I think about the gangs in South London? I'm like, I don't know. I grew up in Mayfair. I don't know about the South London gangs. I've been told...
Sorry, I don't have all knowledge for my race.
I've been told that I was really qualified for a job, but I'm afraid you're not going to have the job because a girl who has no qualifications but is a size 6 and blonde will be doing your job instead. That was really painful. And I'm like, what could that be about? It's just, the list goes on and on and on and on. So you can be upset about it. You could make yourself a victim, or you can use it as rocket fuel to make change. And I feel I'm part of a chain. And when you put yourself as part of something, you take the pressure off, but also the pressure goes on at the same time.
No,
that makes sense.
Yes.
So, if I think about the people who in the civil rights movement in the 60s, they marched for me to have rights. They were beaten with bats wrapped in barbed wire. Dogs were set on them in Selma. In the 60s in America, my mum used to live in New York in the 60s. So this is not 1,000 miles away. So when my mum was in her 20s, if she went to the Deep South, she couldn't go and eat in certain restaurants. This is very close to home. So all these people have done their bit to make my life easier and better. And what am I going to do to make my daughter's life easier and better and more just? So you can sit around kind of bitching about it, or you can get it together and make a change and be active. And it's not to say it's not unfair. It's not painful. It's not hurtful. It's not unjust. It's just do something. Do something.
Be solution focused, not problem focused.
The solution.
Right.
And then you know what? When my time is done, I expect my children to do the same. Whatever their issues are, it might be another set of issues.
It's true.
Do something.
And then you have
their children, like my grandchildren, great grandchildren, and I think that is the role of being human.
Yeah, and I think that you've equipped them so they know how to tackle these things or whatever social issues are in 50 years time or whatever.
I'm trying.
But honestly, I do feel that. I think I wrote an article about the hate that Meghan Markle was received, and ridiculous. My gosh, I get so much backlash for that. I got so
really.
Oh my goodness, people talking about why does everything have to be about race and blah blah blah, and it was so intense. I had to turn off my notifications for a minute, but then. But
you know what?
I turned back on because I was like, I can't afford to be
shy away
from it because this is what I want. And I felt that this was something that was so unjust and I couldn't. Because just seeing her going through it and just watching videos, I'm just thinking, why? But yeah, Wait, you were going to say something.
When people say, why does it have to always be about race? I agree, but it is.
It is.
I agree. It's really, really boring.
Make it about something else then we won't have this conversation.
Exactly. I completely agree. It's really boring. I don't want to have to keep talking about it, but the way I'm treated makes me have to talk about it. So can we all just get on with it? But it is about it until it's not. So it is really boring, but it's blatant how she's being treated, and she's being judged by another standard. And I think it's quite obvious why, you know?
It is quite obvious why.
And people love to hide behind different things to attack people, you know? But
it's so much deeper than that, but it's really not. It's really not. You can cover it in however you want it, but we know the reason.
Yeah,
but it was crazy. Even the Remembrance Sunday, there was an article about how she was dressed too seductively with her eyelashes, and comparing her to Kate, and it's like, what? She's not even wearing any earrings. It was just a mess.
Just leave her alone.
Just leave her alone.
Just leave her alone. Just is this like the 16th century? Is she a seductress come to steal the men? I mean, what the hell is this language?
The language is crazy. It's like I don't even understand where they're going with it. Is really what my thing is.
Just misogynistic nonsense. Just yeah. But I mean, these are all the things which I find really interesting. I want to shine a light on all these invisible things which are bubbling under the surface. And, you know, the beauty industry is just my way of exercising, talking, discussing all the things that interest me about power and relationships and people and healing. But it's like all these issues, it's just pick your format. Do you know what I mean? But this is the format that I like and that has speak to me.
What I like about the fact that you're so active and it's in the beauty industry, I find that for me, I find it reclaims power, because for so long I felt like, oh, this was vanity and this is this and this is this, because like how you said, it was misogyny, and people like to put you in a box and tell you, oh, if you like this, you can't like that, and if you talk about this, you can't talk about that, and it's very restricting and annoying. So
it's just like, exactly, it's like because I'm a beauty journalist, I can't talk about politics or about chemistry or about anything else. So what it's ridiculous. I can only do one thing, and I'm a fluffy person. I'm not a fluffy person at all. There's fluffy parts to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I'm chatting to you, I'm doodling with a neon pink highlighter, which I love, but
which is great, and we're allowed to, you know what I mean?
Exactly, but I can doodle, and I can also talk about Brexit. What's the big deal? I don't get it. So yeah, people always want to put you in boxes, and I think your job as a human being is just to say there are no boxes.
There are no boxes.
Scary, but that's the truth. There are no boxes. That's your problem, not mine. If you don't know how to relate.
It's true.
Yeah, it's not my problem.
But I was thinking about something the other day. I saw a tweet, and I love Twitter, so this is where I got all my information from. I saw a tweet the other day about how, you know, growing up, you're made to like things. This is not true for everyone, but I relate to the tweet personally.
Yes.
And you're made to like things because men like them. You know what I mean? And I was thinking about football. And when we were younger, me and one of my cousins really liked football. And she was fantastic at it. And I really liked it as well. But then as I grew up, I was made to feel like, oh, you only like it because guys like it. And these were guys as well that were making me feel that way. And then now I really don't like it because I was made to feel that way.
I know what you mean. It's like conditioning and all the rest of it. It's just, there's so much noise when you grow up. So much noise. And I think if you could just clear all the noise of society and all these different voices and try and be really pure in, I like this, why do I like this? Why? I don't care about how I'm being judged or what people's perception is. Yeah. If I like to kick a ball around a field and that makes me feel good, I'm going to do it. And it's just really sad that you can be bullied out of something. I think so many women are bullied out of doing stuff they love, or, you know, there's that, you know, famously girls stopped doing sports around 14, 15. The whole thing is just madness. Do you know what I mean? It's just madness and sad. But I think if the less you judge yourself, the less other people judge you, the more interesting your life will be. I'm trying to live
The more
by that.
wholesome you are, actually, it's because like you feel like very like happy with yourself. Because the moral of the story is, I left football behind, but my cousin, she's still fabulous at it. Like she's fantastic. We're around the same age. She is so good. She is amazing. So it's great that she
does. She do it professionally or for fun?
She does it for fun. She does it with her work. She's on the football club with all the boys. I think she's like the only girl on the team, but she's so good. She's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, just like, don't let anyone take that from you.
Yes, I love that for her.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope. Don't even talk to me about football.
Is that because you're hurt? And you're resentful about that?
I think I'm a little bit resentful about it because now my husband is like, oh, let's watch football together. I'm like, why should I watch football? Just because you like it. It's so combative now for me.
Yeah, but you know what? Just let it go and let yourself enjoy it. Let yourself enjoy it. Go kick a ball around. Go, you know what? Don't be something in response to something else. Because that's kind of also letting them win. So you not watching football is letting those voices win, because actually you probably would like to watch football. Am I right?
I think maybe I would, because I still enjoy it sometimes a little bit, but I'm like, oh, you're enjoying it, stop it.
Yeah, I like, as homework, go watch a football game without any noise in your head and
enjoy it. Yeah, enjoy it.
And that's okay.
He'll be very happy to hear that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's so interesting. But one question I was going to ask you, because I feel like you talk about your mom quite a bit. What role do you think having that supportive parent plays? Like, is it like a huge difference, do you think, in terms of following your dreams, like we've been talking about, and like breaking the mold and just going against systems of oppression, basically?
Well, I was very lucky that I had my mom who always validated my dreams and I lived in an environment where if there's anything you want to do, you go do it. So, you know, I remember when I was little, I said to her, I want to be a hairdresser. And she'd said, great. What about if you have your own salon and be a hairdresser? I'd be like, yeah. And then she goes, what if you had a salon, you're a hairdresser, and you have your own products? And I'm like, that's a great idea. So she always upgraded my dreams in a really subtle, sly way. So she came so from wanting to be a hairdresser to a hairdresser who was a business owner who has her product line. And you know, she was doing that from age 6, 7. And I was like, it's not saying no to any of it. It's just like, you go for it. But like, go big.
Yeah.
So that's the message I always had. Just go big. There are no limits. And I'm very grateful for that, because she's not a fearful person. She's not. Everyone in my family are go-getters. They're fearless. You know, at the age of 18, she went from Trinidad to study in America, in New York. Can you imagine going from a, you know, very, very sheltered...
Yeah.
You know, she was walked to church by her brothers.
I'm going to New York of all places. That must have been a shock.
New York in 1968. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Of the whole Harlem situation, and that must have been so intense.
I don't even know where she was. She was probably, I don't know where she lived in I have to ask her. I don't know where she lived in New York, but she was. It must have been like being on the moon from Trinidad. You know what I mean? Where you know everyone in your community, everyone like chats to you, and
in this metropolis.
Yeah, well, she chose it. She went, you know, and she wanted to live her life, and she met my dad there, and my dad is Nigerian. And he was, Niger, and he was studying. I mean, my dad, he went from Nigeria to Ireland in the 60s. My God.
Like Ireland, like Ireland.
Yeah, he went. Wow. He did a Latin. He went from Nigeria to the University of Cork in like 1962 or something insane, and he was like the only black man in Cork or something, and he did a Latin degree. And he, you know, I said to him, Dad, like, how do you feel? That must have been so
random,
different, and so random, and like such a culture shock. And he goes, oh, it was fine. I'm a good Irish boy. You know, I'm a good Catholic boy. So everyone just bought me pints. And it's that kind of like give zero fucks attitude I was brought up with. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's, it really I'm here in Cork doing Latin, and no one who looks like me for miles. and I don't give a shit. And I really respect that. And you know what? I'm here to do what I want to do. So I have
refuse to let anyone determine it. Yeah. And I feel like that spirit really rubs off on you. It really rubs off on, like, it's very transferable. It really, really does make you feel like, oh, okay, if this person can do it, I can certainly do this. I definitely love that.
Yeah, and just going for it. So I think it does help if you're in an environment where, you know, my people are brave. Whatever they are very brave people, and they do things, and they are the first, and they are go-getters. And so I was brought up in that environment. And I think that has really helped. There's been a lot of dark stuff too. I'm not going to lie. Nothing's got rainbows and whatever in my upbringing. But I'm just saying that is what I've chosen to take away. The go for it. You don't belong here. Well, screw you. I do. Let's go.
No, that's
I am the middle. I am the middle. I'm not the outskirts. I'm the center. That's what I get from my upbringing.
I think it's so important to live like that. I mean, everyone goes through, some more than others, like everyone goes through difficult situations, but it's like what you choose to take from it. Everyone, you know what I mean? Everyone you can either be, like someone was telling me the other day, you can either be the victim or you can either be the victor, or like coming out with learned experiences and using that.
It is a choice. I do think it's a choice.
Honestly,
it is. I do believe that, you know, you are not in control of what happens to you, but you're in control of where it's going to take you and how you process it.
But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like it's a learning curve for me, but you know, I just want to do the best I can do with what I've been given. And that's my job, and I'm trying.
I love the attitude. I really do, Ateh. I really do.
Oh, thank you.
But one last question. What would you have wanted to know when you first started out? So from all your years of experience, what would you have wanted to know in the beginning? What have you learned that you think, I could share this bit of knowledge to people who are just starting out in whatever job?
Be detail orientated. I'm a big sky, wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of a person. And you have to give respect to the boring stuff, the stuff that you find boring, because that's as equal importance to the like, woohoo!
You're speaking directly to me, because I hate sweating the small stuff.
Oh my God, it's just not my nature. But if you want to have a less painful life, so it's do the budget, do the this, dot the I's, cross the T's, look at the small stuff, because it's just as important as the big stuff, you know, and it's just not my nature. It's so boring. And if you can't do it, then hire someone to do it for you.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
Yeah. If you can't do it, recognize your flaws and say, I cannot do this. I will hire you to do it for me, please. Or please help me. Please mentor me. But just recognize what you can and cannot do, and then just fill in the gaps accordingly. But you have to be honest with yourself and say, this is my nature, this is not my nature. And so you can be full package. Does that make sense?
Yeah, honestly. I think mentorship is something that I think people don't think they need, but it's so important.
Everybody needs a mentor. Everyone needs a model. You know what I mean? Even if it doesn't matter what stage of the game you're in, there's always someone who's 10 years ahead of you.
Right.
You know, if you're 81 and there's a 91-year-old who has...
Like, how do I get to you?
How do I get to you? You're healthy, you're 91, you're like, come on, tell me.
Tell me your secrets.
Yeah. There is always someone you can learn from. And people can be your mentor even if they don't know it. You can just see how
just model their behavior.
Yes, model their behavior.
Or non-creepily.
Stalkerish, but not really. But but if there's someone whose career you really respect and admire, find out how they got there. What university did they go to? What apprenticeship did they do? What were the steps they got to get to where they want to be? And you can echo it. You can be inspired by that. And but it's having a lack of ego and humility to say, I want to learn. And I think that is, I want to learn. I don't know everything. I have a lot to learn. And I think at 91, I will always say I have a lot to learn. God willing, if I get there. But like, you know what I mean? You never stop learning. You never have. And you know, my kids teach me every day, my God, like, and not being arrogant. Like my 8-year-olds have told me stuff. I'm like, I'm like, go Adana, truth, go Ola. And you know, it's just like, and you can learn, and the truth comes from anywhere, even your kids, you know?
Yes. Because
they see things from a different point of view. The truth doesn't have an age, doesn't have a color, doesn't have a gender. The truth is just the truth. Accept it from where it comes from with humility. But that's what I'd say.
I love that. Thank you so much, Ateh, for being with us today.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure to chat to you. Thank you so much for brightening.
So fun.
You have brightened this rainy, cold day for me. It's been such an honor. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.